What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things box. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow me on TikTok, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get into it. So, as of today, breaking news. We've got officially it's signed, it's sealed. We're just waiting for it to be delivered, and that is Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, the Destroyer. So this is a fight that's been talked about for a number of years. I believe initially this was set to take place about, I want to say about a year or two ago. Conor Benn fails the PD test and that's all on ice. It was meant to be a catch weight fight originally, 157 pounds. It's now going to be at 160, the middleweight limit, and it is finally on. And this is a fight, as I say, shrouded in controversy. It's a bit of a gimmicky fight as far as I'm concerned, because as far as weight divisions go, unlike their fathers, Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr., who were the same weight division. These guys are a good few weight divisions apart. They're like two weight divisions, two depending on where Chris Eubank Jr. is. He's fought as high as 168 as a super middleweight, and I think the lowest he's fought is at middleweight, which this fight is going to be at. And Conor Benn has been a career welterweight. So as far as weights go and everything, and size and everything, this is a bit of a crazy fight, really, because these guys are a few weight, like two weight divisions apart from one another. So if it wasn't for the family name and the bitter rivalry that their fathers had, this fight wouldn't make much sense. But again, it's one of those that, because of that rivalry of the fathers, because of how much we as boxing fans, if you've been around for any length of time like myself, then you would have been enjoying both of their fathers' career. I enjoyed Nigel Benn's career. I was a big fan of his, and of course Chris Eubank's career as well. And they crossed paths, and you had Watson towards the end of their career. You had Steve Collins, and the fathers were great fighters. So it's one of these where, as much as people will downplay this fight and say this is, as Simon Jordan saying, "Oh, it's all mediocrity, it's all silly, it's all this, it's all that." At the end of the day, I think this is one of those fights where, regardless of what you think about it, you're gonna have something to say. It's one of those where some will consider it mismatch, because obviously the weight divisions are too much. Conor Benn has never really, I mean, okay, he's had those sort of fights in America at a high weight. I think it was at 154. But again, it seemed to struggle a bit. It wasn't as explosive, and the power didn't really seem to affect anyone up there at 154. He was having to go to points decisions, so he didn't look as dangerous at the high weight of 154. So many will go into this thinking, well, Benn's at a big disadvantage here. And I think, yeah, he is definitely, of the two, he's kind of at a disadvantage here, because he's fought higher than welterweight, but in those performances where he fought higher than welterweight, he didn't look devastating. He didn't look that dangerous and deadly, as he did at welterweight. Welterweight is where he sort of looked his best. So yeah, this is one of those where, love it or hate it, I think you will be tuning in, and it's one of those where I myself, I think it's a bit of a gimmicky fight. It's all based on the names of the fathers, who were excellent boxers in their time. But yeah, this is one that I'd be lying if I said I won't be tuning in. For me personally, I'll be tuning in. I'll be watching it. I think the face off, whatever platform they do it on, the sort of face-to-face interview where they're in front of each other, I think that's going to be very entertaining. I think it's one of those fights where probably the face off that they have might be more entertaining than the fight itself. But Yeah, according to reports, it's going to be taking place in April, and it's going to be somewhere in London. The venue has not been announced as yet, but it's going to be somewhere in London. And if you don't believe that, you've got the pictures online. I mean, I was sent a picture today that I believe Conor Benn put up himself, which is it's of himself sitting down signing a contract, and Turkey Al Sheikh behind him. You got Eddie Hearn in the background of the picture, so you see that Conor Benn's serious. He's signing a contract. The only question mark over it, which I don't think really is a question mark, but is Chris Eubank Jr. because I think Eubank Jr. and Shalom, as of the recording of this video, I haven't actually heard or seen anything from them confirming this fight. But from far as I'm concerned, I think it's definitely on. I think Skies and they announced it and stuff. And one thing you always know is that he ain't been in boxing that long, Turkey Al Sheikh, but once he drops the big bag, the fights are going to get made and they're going to get done. So, yeah, let me know what you think about this fight. Are you a person that's going to be tuning in to watch Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr.? Are you going to be are you a person that's not in favor of this fight? Are you in favor of this fight? Do you want to see it? Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. One thing for sure, in my opinion, is that I think it'll be an exciting fight. I think you got to kind of favor Chris Eubank Jr. just because of the weight division it's going to be fought at. But Conor Benn, he's going to come, he's going to be aggressive, he's going to give it a go. But for me, early sort of prediction is that Chris Eubank Jr. wins this fight. I think Chris Eubank Jr. should be just too big and too strong for Conor Benn. And I think when you look at the careers of both fighters, I mean, one thing about Chris Eubank Jr. is that what he struggles with is boxers. He struggles with skilled guys. He struggles with guys that can move, guys that can feint, guys that can box on the back foot. But he doesn't typically struggle with guys that come at him. And Conor Benn, in order to win this fight, his best tactic is going to be to come forward, to go after Chris Eubank Jr. And I think those fighters like that go after Chris Eubank Jr., get in his face, get aggressive with him, those are the type of fighters where he looks brilliant against them. Those are the type of fighters where, that's where he normally thrives. And I think unless you're sort of an elite level middleweight, a very, very good middleweight, or someone around his size, you're not going to beat Chris Eubank Jr. doing this sort of bum rushing, aggressive tactics that Conor Benn's going to bring. So for me, early pick is Chris Eubank Jr. I think he's going to be too big, too strong, and I think Conor Benn's style is going to play into his hands. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Until next time, it's MKO Boxing, over and out.